The new Malawian President Peter Mutharika can never ever bring change in Malawi. And I'm going to unveil to you how dangerous is Peter Mutharika more than Lazarus Chakwera. Something that is going to shock you. The Malawians were very happy after Peter Mutharika was elected into power the second time. But we are going to unveil to you the bad things that Peter Mutharika had done in the year 2024 up to 2020, the time that he was in power. So many people are claiming that this is the future of Malawi, but this is wrong. This is something that can never happen. On our today episode, I'm going to unveil to you how dangerous is Peter Mutharika, the newly elected president of Malawi. This is going to shock you. This is something that most of the Malawians should be ready and should prepare themselves for high calamities that is coming in Malawi. What did he did the time that he was the president from 2014 up to 2020? What did Peter Mutharika, an 85-year-old president, done to the Malawian? But something that is going to shock you is that the Malawians were not ready and they were not prepared to elect Peter Mutharika. Do you remember the story of Dr. Chilima, who was the vice president of Lazarus Chakwera, who died in a plane crash? What really happened up to that? And the reason why the Malawian had banked in Dr. Chilima, who was the hope of so many Malawians, that everyone were behind Dr. Chilima. But after the death of Dr. Chilima, everyone had no choice. Most of the Malawians didn't even want to vote for Peter Mutharika because he was in power, and there are a lot of calamities, a lot of problems that affect them during the time of Lazarus Chakwera were the same problem that affect them from the year 2014 up to the year 2020. This is the bad thing that Peter Mutharika has done to the Malawian, and most of the Malawian don't trust in his agenda, don't trust in his manifesto. Something that he promised them, something that he said that he's going to do to the Malawian, it's something that is going to shock you, that Peter Mutharika is going to be the worst president in Malawi more than Lazarus Chakwera. I'm going to unveil to you, and stay tuned because this is going to shock most of the people here in Africa. As we always do, we always expose the head of state that doesn't have intention to work for their own people, that doesn't have plan to work and champion for their own people. This is the history of Peter Mutharika, the newly elected president of Malawi, and the reason why Peter Mutharika is not going to bring change in Malawi. Most of the Malawians that have banked on him should stop, because today I'm going to expose who is truly Peter Mutharika, the newly elected president of Malawi, who was elected last week. Is just waiting to be sworn into power. Between Lazarus Chakwera and Peter Mutharika, who is going to change Malawi to be a better place? Lazarus Chakwera failed terribly. Do you think that Peter Mutharika is the hope of so many Malawians? Something that I'm going to leave for you to judge for yourself. Hello guys, welcome once again onto our YouTube channel. Kindly, if you're new here, kindly subscribe and click the notification button for you to never ever miss any news that we post here in our channel, because we always focus on whatever that is trending in the world of internet. Our main objective is to make sure that Africans are educated, Africans get important news on whatever that is currently happening in the continent of Africa. That is our business. As we always say, we are Africans, and Africa will remain to be our business. We don't have any other business, but our business is to make sure that our Africans are getting enough education on whatever that is currently happening here in Africa. The newly elected president of Malawi, Peter Mutharika, can never ever bring change in Malawi, and these are the main reason why he can never ever do anything to the Malawian. Most of the Malawian that believe in him should stop, because number one, Peter Mutharika has been known in corruption scandal. In the year 2014, his bodyguard was arrested. His bodyguard was arrested because of money laundering. Who was sent him? It was Peter Mutharika, who was first in forefront using his own bodyguard so that he can squander money from his own government. That was the year 2014 to 2015. Most of the Malawian came out and complained about this. There's nothing that was done because Peter Mutharika that time was into power. He was found the most corruption scandal that Peter Mutharika was been involved in is Cement Gate. This Cement Gate, he was the one that was behind it. He was the one that was funding it, and his own bodyguard was arrested. If you think that Peter Mutharika is a good person, then you are wrong. Most of the Malawians should know this. His bodyguard was arrested in that process, and some of his 6 close friends, he was using this get cement to benefit his own self. That is the number one scandal that is Peter Mutharika has been involved in. Corruption scandal. Number 2, undermining democracy and rule of law. Any Malawian that come out and speak ill about the government is going to be arrested. This is the rule of Peter Mutharika. He doesn't respect the democracy of people. He doesn't respect the rule of law of so many Malawians. So most of the Malawians should be very prepared and should be ready for this, that the democracy, their rule of law is going to be taken away with Peter Mutharika, who is the president of Malawi. Number 3 is he attempted to bribe judges. Do you remember the time that his election was going to be nullified? And that is the time that Lazarus Chakwera became the president of Malawi. Peter Mutharika came out and wanted to bribe most of the judges that were there deciding this case in election. He was first in forefront championing about this issue. He was the one that was spearheading these corruption cases towards the judge bench that were discussing this case of stealing election. That time, most of the people came out and said that Peter Mutharika has stole election. That is the time that they went for a rerun and Lazarus Chakwera was elected into power. So most of the Malawians should be very ready. This is the president that they elected him into power. This is the president that has been spearheading corruption in Malawi. What do you think that Peter Mutharika is going to do that he didn't do back then to make Malawi be a better country? So stay tuned, stay on. Don't say that I didn't tell you about this. Someone that you want him to stop corruption is the one that was involved in bribing judges during the time of election. But something that shocked him, the rule didn't went into side. Peter Mutharika has been first in forefront spreading nepotism and tribalism in his own government. He has been first in forefront during the year 2014 to 2020. Peter Mutharika has been electing most of his close friends into power, has been electing most of the family members to be part of his own government. This is a president that you think that is going to change and revolutionize your life. You are wrong. This is a president that will only think about himself. This is a president that will only championing things that focus on himself. So, those people that thought that Peter Mutharika has planned for them, think twice. This is a president that doesn't have a plan, doesn't have a rule, doesn't have anything in his mind to change the life of so many Malawian. Harsh treatment and protest during the time that you want to practice your right in protest. Peter Mutharika is going to put that right into sunder and is going to make sure that most of the Malawian that want to practice those right on that is in the constitution is going to be reduced. That's how dangerous Peter Mutharika, the newly elected president of Malawi, is. Those people that thought that voting out Lazarus, I'm not saying that Lazarus Chakwera was a good person. I'm not saying that Lazarus Chakwera had a better plan for the Malawian, but you must be very careful with whatever that is going to happen. This is something that this 85-year-old president doesn't have any plan in revolutionaries. They haven't have any plan to lead the Malawian into a better country. That is what I had for you today. If you are new here, kindly subscribe, click the notification button for you to never ever miss any news that we post here in our channel, because we expose the head of state that doesn't have plan to focus on their own people. That is our objective. That is what we always talk about. As we always say, we are Africans, and Africa will remain to be our business. Until next time, we always say game over. God bless you guys.